People, welcome to Newspaper Breakdown. We have some stories. It's the 4th of April. Hope we're all fine. So let's begin. In 2021, in a white paper on adult social care, ministers pledged to invest at least 500 million over the next 3 years to begin to transform the way we support the social care workforce. However, the Department of Health and Social Care has now said that the plans for a new care workforce pathway, as well as hundreds of thousands of training places, will be backed by 250 million in funding. Charities have called the halving of the funding an insult, with the Director of Policy and Health think tank The King's Fund saying the plans were a dim shadow of the wide-scale reform to adult social care that this government committed to when they came into office. This, of course, comes at a time when demand for social care is at record highs, public satisfaction is at record lows, and staff vacancies have never been higher. So all the things that you really need money for, and they're cutting it. A report in March by trade organisation Care England and leading disability charity HFT described the adult social care sector as on the precipice because of financial pressures on providers, with the report also saying that low levels of pay for care staff is considered to be the biggest barrier to recruitment and retention. We have ideas on how to solve it, but a lot of politicians lie. And so they lie, and we all go, oh, that seems like a very nice idea. And then they'll fucking change it. And hardly anyone will go, oh, shit, that's not right. It should be, really, that when someone does a manifesto, and they give all the bollocks about what they're going to do, all the wins, all the pow, we're gonna, this is why you should vote for us. If they do not follow it, and they do not give solid reasons as to why, we should sack them. Get rid of them. They're lying. Get rid of people who lie to you. That's life. It's a good thing. That's a good rule for life. If someone lies to you, fuck them away. Over in the UAE now, who are hosting this year's UN Climate Summit, the CEO of the UAE's national oil company, who for some reason has been appointed the president of the UN's COP28 summit in December, is overseeing expansion to produce oil and gas equivalent to 7.5 billion barrels of oil, which 90% of which would have to remain in the ground to meet the net zero scenario set out by the International Energy Agency, making the UAE the third biggest net zero busting nation behind the plans of Saudi Arabia and Qatar. Independent experts rate the UAE's climate targets and policies as highly insufficient, which the UN Secretary General recently called for the ceasing of all licensing or funding of new oil and gas. Basically, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, all of the nations that have put all of their eggs into the old oil basket are killing us. We will not reach net zero because people don't want to. Money is more important than surviving. Everyone seems to be of the opinion that they can take the money with them. You can't. There's nothing after this. This is it. That's why enjoyment is such a fun thing, because this is it. If you went after this to paradise, this wouldn't be so much fun. There wouldn't be so much enjoyment to be had in life if we went on to something better. This is all that there is. That's why a game of pool is so much fun. A cup of tea, Yorkshire pudding. If we went on to something better, this wouldn't feel as good. Anyway, a few more stories. The Financial Conduct Authority has said that I missed out the has said. Sorry, I just fucking blanked out. No, the Financial Conduct Authority has said that some Libor rates continued to be published beyond the original June deadline, giving markets more time to shift away from the made-up numbers that are Libor. The 1, 3, and 6 month synthetic US dollar Libor rates will be published for a short period after the June 30th cutoff point before ending for good in September 2024. Synthetic Libor attempts to mimic what Libor would have been if it still existed. The US dollar Libor was used for decades to price various debts and derivative products around the world and became key to multiple manipulations and price rigging scandals, with several people facing jail time. It is to be replaced with the secure overnight financial rate, but there are a large proportion of the $1.4 trillion US junk loan market has yet to switch to the new tag. The biggest buyers of US leverage loans are vehicles called collateralized loan obligations, which own roughly 2/3 of the market, with some CLO investors have pushed for additional credit spread adjustments to account for the lack of risk premium factored into the new SOFR rate, owing to the differences in the way that the two benchmarks are constructed. I always think it's quite important to put in once in a blue moon a story that no one fucking understands. And that's who knows? Who fucking knows? It's all made up numbers. People fuck over. We're trying to put in a new rate for interest rates for US junk market, which is, as it sounds, dodgy as fuck as it is. And people want more money. That's it. It's just a story on greed and stupidity and the inability to do anything of use. Right. Two more stories. Ofwat. We're going to go to the water industry now, which is one of my favourite fucking industries, because we can do something and we never fucking do. Ofwat, the water industry regulator, has fined just one privatised utility for breaching regulations designed to prevent sewage spills in England since the rules came in to force almost 30 years ago. 30 fucking years ago, and we fined one of the bastards. This despite hundreds of thousands of sewage spills in recent years. Official data shows there were 301,091 sewage spills in rivers and seas last year, and 372,533 in 2021. You may think that shows that it's improving, but last year you have to take into account there were countrywide droughts. This is a continuation of our regulators not doing enough to deal with water companies, because we do not hold water companies to account. Even the fucking the fact of how much sewage is being pumped into rivers, we didn't find that out because of Ofwat or the environmental agency's hard work. It was because of other people doing work. They're not fit for office, frankly, and that goes on with a government, and the government should be holding the regulators to account, and the regulators should be holding water companies to account. But they're all just there in some fucking circle jerk, whilst we're in the middle being covered in shit all the fucking time. Madness, really, it is fucking madness. When you take into account that one of the biggest kryptonites of a water company is water. The reason that they spill into rivers and seas, or the reason they pump untreated sewage into our fucking water, is because if it rains too much, they overflow. They get fucked when it rains. In England, can you imagine how bad you have to have set something up for English rain to fuck you up? Every time it rains, the water companies are going, Jesus Christ, I did not expect this. The fucking weather in England, who knew? Finally, up to £30 billion could be wiped out from the UK corporate pension scheme liabilities, owing to one of the biggest falls in life expectancy in a decade. The latest modelling saw life expectancy assumptions at retirement age fall by 1.9% or 6 months. As I've said before, if we killed everyone at 70, everything would be solved. Oh, so much solving. Everything would be fucking solved. It's always important to remember that to some people, your life is just a cost. So although people are dying earlier than they were, going to save some people money. So swings and roundabouts anyway. Oh, that's enough for today. I shall talk to you later. Bye.